Hello, today is day 15. We're going to be working on file input output operations in Python, like how to write a file with Python, how to read that file, how to append it and update it, that sort of stuff. So let's get started. Let's update our README really quick. 15. Right. R W write mode. Append, right? Append mode. R read mode. View contents. And finally we have R plus, which is read and write. Right. Read plus write. What it does is edit without deleting, right? So the write just overwrites it, but this one actually deals with this, right? Okay, so let's create a new file over here. Let's go to day 15. Okay, it's a new file. Let me drop the GitHub. Where's the GitHub? Here's GitHub. That should do it. Okay. Okay. So in order to do file writing operations, you need to use the OS built-in. One of the main reasons we use OS built-in is because it gives us the ability to find out things that are going on with the operating system, like where we are currently in the whole hierarchy of the system, right? Where this exact file is. Like we're in this file day15.py, and if we want to find out where it is, we can run an operating system command called os.getCurrentDirectory or get working directory. In our program, it's get wd working directory. In Python, it's os.getCurrentWorkingDirectory. So GWD with two brackets. So let's see if we can try and get that data out, right? So let's first import the module, right? Then we can go os dot, right? Get. So there it is, get current working directory. You see that? Okay. So home current working directory is this. I'm going to print right, and we're going to print to the console what the current working directory is, right? And you're able to see the output. It says /workspaces/Python, right? So that's your current working directory. Another way to do this is under equal to, let's get the debugger going here because I want to try it in the console underneath. Just running the file over and over again. Let's go in the debug console over here. And okay, so if you type in, why is it not typing? Oh boy. There we go. Current working directory, right? And it's imported the module. So that's what it prints out, right? So what we want to do is os.path.dirname. What is it? I think it's os.absolute path, and then you put in file. Like, so you just say, hey, what's the current file? There you go. Right, so that's what it is, right? So if you pass this entire thing, this thing inside the dir name, right? So you go, let me copy this really quick, put it in the buffer. Control C. So this is what you do. We put os.path.dirname, and then we go in here and then we paste it inside. No, what happened? It's supposed to be in the buffer. Control C. Here we go. It's in there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this is the current working directory. Another way to print the current working directory is with this code. Okay, so let's stop this. Let's go here. Let's save this. So we should get the same output when we run this, right? It should print out the current directory for both. we have to exit this first. We have to exit the Python kernel. On this, okay. So you're seeing both of the directories printed out over here with operating system. So you know where it is, right? So we can make a directory. So mkdir, right? So os.mkdir, make directory, right? So it'll make a directory. Whatever we want to give it the name. Yeah. Let's check. So we can use this as a Boolean output, right? The way to do this is output. So let's make a directory, right? So what we can do is we do os.join, right? Do os.path.join, and then we can pass it the current directory, and we can pass it output, right? So it's gonna, let's see. Okay, so we have this output here, workspaces Python basics, right? So we want to create another directory over here called output. We want that to get added here. So let's see if we can run our debugger really quick and run this output over here and see if it actually puts out what we need it to put out. Current directory is this plus output, right? So that's what this new object should be. And it's not over here, it's not created so far. We're gonna create it right there, and that's output right there. That should have everything. It should have this extra output folder. Okay, and there you go. So that's your new output. You can do a check as well. So you could do was dot make dirs, and then output is true. Is it exist? Does exist. It's okay. True. That should use a true statement. So this should say that it's true because it exists. If you go to our folders, there's the output folder. It's brand new. It just got created, right? So that's the use of that code right there. So you can, that's a join function as well to the path, and you can add this output folder to this, right? So now let's call this file path. os.path. We know what the folder is, so we want to join the output path file that we want to write our data to, right? So day 15 dot text dot data dot text file path, right? So we can go print file path. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so that's the file path. Even though there's no file that exists there, underneath this output folder, we want to write a file, right? So how are we going to do the write file? That's the first piece that we covered in our README, if you remember. W write mode, right? So do it, right? So we have already opened, so with open, right? File path, write. We're gonna write it as file. What do you want to call it? As output file? Out file. It doesn't like that. Like that. Right, with open file path. So that's the location of the file. We want to write to that file. It has that file in its path, right? By building the path, we put it already there. We want to use on out file. On out file, we want to use the write. See that? Write. We want to use that. And what we want to do is we want to put an F string in there. What's happy F string? We're going to pass in something from the function. So if we nest this inside a function, then we get an F string and we can pass in the parameters to the function to this. Right now, we can just hard code a string in here saying line 1, this file demonstrates file IO in Python. Full stop / new. Right, so that's a new line character right there. Our file dot write. This line 2, this line and above was in W mode. Right? All right, so right now there's nothing in the output folder. We want to write a file called day15data.txt, and we want to write these 2 lines inside it. So by running this command, this code, we have this new file in here that has this data inside it. Right, so that's the write. So it's the same same function, same kind of like syntax, right? You can use for reading the file. So if you want to read what's on the file, right now it didn't print it out, anything, it created this file, right? So now, let's comment that. So if we run it again, it's just so we're gonna read file path. We're gonna and file path to this path is already set in the output in the file path, right? So we know how to get to this location of this data.txt file. It's inside the out. So we say, hey, the file path read, right? Or right. And then we can go put file dot. Don't need any of that, so blow that away. Dot read. So read it, man. Right, and then we can wrap this in a print statement, no, like that, and that should throw out to the console what's in the file right there. And it gave a new line. There was a /n over here. So when we wrote this, if we uncomment this and we delete the new line here, we rerun it, it rewrites everything inside here, and it spits out to the console. See, the extra line disappeared that was here. You see that? That line's gone now because inside the file, if you open it up, it doesn't have that new line character over here. It doesn't have line 3, right? So we've done read as well, right? Let's do in here. Let's do, what were we supposed to do? Let's see. So we did write, we did read. Let's do append, and then we can do read and write, right? Let's get to that really quick. So we want to append, right? So in this particular path, this file, we want to write some more data to it. Like that. I'm going to say line 3, line 4. This line was written with the append mode. Right, and then I'll print everything out. So here we want to see a third line written. So we run it. You see it was written at the end of this, line number 4. So if you put a new line character on top over here, /n, we save it and we run it again, you'll see this underneath over here, line 4, and we want to call it line 3. You see it right there? Okay. Print it out neatly underneath and write it out to the console. So you see all 3 of these functionalities here, right? So finally, let's do a read and write method, right? So do this. One here, we'll put one of these. We'll do non-reading file using R plus O. right? There we go. See that right there? Print it out. Okay. Let's do it. All right. So let's copy this. You can't get that away from here. Let's paste it over here. We're gonna go R plus. That's the first thing we're gonna put over here. We're gonna go to our end. We're gonna go over here. We'll say our data that we have is equal to outfile dot read. So now we have an object called data. So if we print that, we're going to see all the output that we're seeing on the file over here, right? And just for, well, we'll also call that data here, but we won't print it anymore. Data is equal to delete this, go to end backspace. Okay. Okay, so now if we run it, you're not going to see anything on the console, right? Except this print statement. So we go here, we create this data object. So we're opening this and we're creating this data object, right? So now if you use the seek command, it goes to the beginning to the 0 character of something. So if you go file path, no, not file path, outfile dot seek, there it is. And you give a number for it to seek, and it looks for that index. So the first index is L in line 1 in our data file that we can see over here. That is 0 right there, that L, the first L right there, right? Okay. So seek this, right? So it goes to the first beginning, right? Then you say outfile dot write, right? Line 0. So R plus mode, right? Put a new line character over here. That would be nice. So now it's going to go into the file and it's going to write into the file, but it's actually doing an append. But it's not doing the append towards the end because the A did the append at the end. We gave a seek, so we moved the cursor inside to a particular index location in the file, and then we said, hey, put this in with a new line, right? 0. We can do 0.5. So that's even more information. Update using this, okay? More lines updated using the R plus mode, right? While preserving the rest of the data, right? Save it. I'm gonna go over here and see if I can do an enter and label it automatically. No, I won't. I forget what it was. I think it was, I gave a quote, did one of these. Did I do it? I think it did it. And I give a slash like that. Yep. is this whining? Oh, the quote's gone. Give the quote, then the slash. That should do it. Okay. So that's the escape character for new line. Right. While preserving data. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. This would be like print. The file now contains do out file dot seek go again to the beginning, and that right there should say print out file dot read is what you should do, right? So we do the print, and that'll print the whole file, right? So you go here and you go out file dot read function, you run the read function on the file. That right there, right, goes over here, and then it prints all this out, types this into it, presents the data, line, and notes written. Okay, so okay. More lines using hardcode while preserving the rest of the data. Dashed line and above was written with the right mode. Where's the typo? I can't find the typo. The line. I did it well. Where did I make a mistake? For more lines of data using the ARM mode while preserving the rest of the data after writing the file now contains this. After writing the file, this line and above was written the ARM mode. Okay. Okay. I think we can fix this. Let me check something really quick. Okay. Oh, there's a truncate call that we can use. There it is, line 3. This line above is written in the right mode. Why didn't it? Line 2. 1, 2. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Just print the whole thing out. Why is it not appending the whole thing at the end of this in the new line? Append, read, print data. Let's see what's in here. Print data. It nicely writes everything here. Cool. Everything's in the file. Let's print it out. That seeks this file and appends the data in here. Seeks it, it writes it. The write plus mode is for reading and writing, but not deleting. So when this runs, it deletes everything. Did I? Syntactically, this seems right. R plus. Prints out everything, but then when it writes to the seek, file.seek 0, add that in here. This one, the R mode. Let's delete this. Maybe this is causing problems here. Seek here. Let's just add one new line, right? Print out. Let's remove this. Let's go to the seek over here and then print out file read. R plus did not work how we wanted it to work. One, two, it completely overwrote this stuff. Troubleshoot this. Go, my dearest Google. How come R plus in, it's not F plus, R plus in Python is overwriting contents of file? Read and write. So it reads what's there and writes. Yeah, so it's supposed to overwrite it because it's supposed to do reading and writing of the code, right? Like it read, R plus does read and then write and then overwrote it. So before the new line, we could have given a new line character over here, but that would have taken out this line anyways. And because of this length, it's actually putting the character length in here and here. So this, if you look at this number of length of characters, this is the exact same length before IO Python. Like this is the same length, probably that, right? So it's overwriting it instead of appending it. So you can probably use seek and then use append in here. Append. Fileout.read. Why is it not working? Not readable. When you're appending a file, you can read it. You don't have data. Seek. Write. When you do append, you can write. So this should work. File.read. Line 30. Oh, this is the one that's causing trouble. All right. There we go. Much better. Append mode. Now this should add it to the beginning, not the end. It's because append is it to the end. So I don't know what is going on here. So R plus is a little bit of a mystery for us. Why is R plus giving us issues? R plus opens the file for both reading and writing. It does not truncate the file like W, and the file must already exist, otherwise you'll get a file not found error, but it is for reading and writing, not appending. It allows reading from the file and writing to the same file. So that makes complete sense, right? Let's do R plus again. R plus. Let's try and see if we can do this here. Control S. File write. let's do out file truncate, out file dot truncate, right? And then seek, and then printf file read. So that should work. Update using it. There we go. So what it is, it wrote it wiped everything and wrote to it. So I don't know why the R plus piece instead of just R. It doesn't really make any sense. I will obviously check into it. So what is the difference? Just Google it, man. How come R plus in Python is overriding the file contents? And what is the difference with R? With the open file. Okay, R is for reading only, and R plus is for reading and writing. So when you do R over here, you can only read and you can't write. But if you do R plus, you can also write to the file, but it will overwrite everything that is already there in the file. So that's what it is. And writing is a separate function. It only does writing to the file and overwrites everything within there and puts in new stuff or whatever. And appending adds stuff to the end. I thought that you would seek to the beginning and put the line in, which it does, but because it's writing, it wipes everything that's in there and then goes to the beginning and then puts that in. So if you want these two lines in there, you can just copy these here. Not that two, but these two, copy it like this. You put in here, you want here, you put it in there. Go up top, like that, save it, and then run it, and then it would write everything into the file. You would have all three, 0 and 2, right? You don't have 3 over here because you didn't do append, right? If you do append at the end over here, like that, and then you do read, because append should have out file dot read. You should be able to see all 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 lines on the console. That does everything here. Append doesn't have read. Why? Okay, so append doesn't have read. You would have to run the read again. You would have to do this after appending it. So copy, come in here, run it again, and this would have all 4 now. Or there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was reading and writing operations to files with write, append, read, and R plus, which is reading with writing, because reading doesn't have any kind of additional functions to add data into a file, right? We also covered what operating system is and how we can go ahead and create a current path with our directory, like add a folder to a current path and then put the output, write that output into a text file into that folder, and then do operations on that file, on the text file. We could use this in all kinds of files, JSON files, Perl files, other Java files, Python files, whatever, right? we could just comment, we could change the .txt to a .py, and we could pass in inside these strings, we could pass in Python code, or we could make it a .sql file and pass SQL code in or whatever. Like so it's really powerful. It's good for us, and that's what we can do in order to do file operations in Python, right? So that's how you do them. That covers everything for day 15. Let me push it up or whatever. So that should take care of it. Get to my terminal really quick. We already did the commit message or whatever. So I have to set the remote and then push it up. Anyways, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for doing file operations with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.